Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholo, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kahakutash. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach, just coming at you with another quick lesson. I'm praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And an article from PBS NewsHour. You know, you won't really see stuff like this in America, but in Esau, which is the biblical name for the so-called white race, they're falling at every level. Every level, the Lord is really showing this man to just be, for lack of better terms, the stupid of the planet, man. Because the Lord, he set up the bases of men. These are base people. So it says Britain is ejecting hereditary nobles from Parliament after 700 years. So this is the fall of these people. From all continents that they're in. Every continent that they're running, they calling themselves Belgium, they calling themselves Austrians, calling themselves Ukrainians, they calling themselves Russians, they calling themselves Americans, they calling themselves French, Italians, so on and so forth. These so-called European, we say so-called European because these are actually Edomites. Matter of fact, these are Edomites. They come from Esau, Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Esau is the progenitor of the so-called white race today. Edom, Idumean in the Greek. So let's read a little bit of this because this is a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, let me read the title again because I saw this. I had to send it straight to Ak. I had to send it straight to the bro, man, as soon as I seen that. So we was kind of texting back and forth about it, man. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, man, and he brought up Revelation chapter 20. And hey, it's going down, man. It says Britain is ejecting hereditary nobles from Parliament after 700 years. Now, let me get this one in the Apocrypha real quick. Because it's the first thing that came to my mind, you know what I'm saying, off the Spirit, man, because you just love it. Loving it, baby. Loving to see the fall of our enemies. That's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing the fall of our enemies. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. See, and that's what we're witnessing. As so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, us, we are the Israelites of the Bible. And these people have had us, these 700 years, these people have been over us. They've stolen the identity of us. We're the royalty. We ran those places over there, you know what I'm saying, before they came into power. And the Lord unchained them, basically. And let them, you know, come out of them caves from that grunting and shit. We were the ones, the Israelites, man. And we're going back into our rightful state. And matter of fact, while I'm in here, let's get this. This comes to mind as well. Second Ezra 6, and let me start at verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? So it's going off into the times. This is going off into an age. This is going off into a rulership or a kingdom. And also, I think the Aki put up on, Daniel 4:17. It says, verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. See, this is it. This is his time. It's a done deal. They falling. And it's going to come where they're going to take a full nosedive crash and they're never getting back up. According to Obadiah, man, these people are going to, you know, serve out their double up of captivity, like how they held us captive. But the Lord said give them double. And then they're going to just be, you know, thrown away and burnt the fuck up. That's it, man. That's their lot. Verse 9 again, for Esau is the end of the world, or the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, this is not a color thing, like how Esau, he tries to make it seem like somebody can be white and somebody can be black, and those are social constructs. Black and white, those are not ethnicities. There's nowhere in the Bible where it says, you know, there's, you know, a white race or a black race. There's different shades of red people, and that's Esau. That's how we know Esau. Scriptures describe Esau as coming out of the mother, out of the womb being red. And they're red people. They're not white. They don't look like a glass of milk, man. Come on, they don't look like the clouds in the sky. Let's just be honest here. And then you have different shades of brown people, you know. And you can have ruddy so-called white people, and you can have ruddy so-called black people, because they try and use that. Well, King David was ruddy. Okay, well, you got ruddy colors of you got a ruddy colored horse that looks brown, but he'll have a reddish hue. Ducks look like that. Some ducks look like that. They'll be brown, but they'll have that reddish hue. Cows. So ruddy can be in any hell, you can have a ruddy so-called Chinese person to a certain extent. Depends on, you know what I'm saying. If you know, it's a fatherly thing rather. Your seed line goes through your father. And Esau, he's a progenitor of the so-called white race, which they are red people overall. They're pinkish to reddish in color. And everyone with melanin is not the same people. Just because a person in Uganda got the same skin color as a so-called black person in America, that don't make them the same people. We're not Africans. That's another thing that this man is taught. This man, hey, he has taught a lot of confusion in the world. And by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the men of the Lord, the apostles, the bishops, and elders on down, man, and we got great teachers that have taught us that this man has been bullshitting by the spirit, and he's showing us the lies of this man. Like even this story right here, this is a fucking lie. These people don't have no business in this position, and the Lord is snatching that shit right out of their hands, man. So let's get a little bit of it, because this is funny as hell when I was reading it. London, centuries of British political tradition will end within weeks after part. That'll let you know right there they falling. They breaking their own shit down. Centuries of British political tradition will end within weeks after Parliament voted to remove hereditary aristocrats from the unelected House of Lords. On Tuesday night, members of the upper chamber dropped objections to legislation passed by the House of Commons, ousting dozens of dukes, earls, and viscounts who inherited seats in Parliament along with their aristocratic titles. So they don't know nothing. They can be stupid as hell. You just because you're a part of the bloodline. I mean, but you know that's the way that, you know, kingdoms roll down. You know, that's what Trump want. Trump would love to be the king and pass his shit down to Baron Trump. Baron Trump have some damn kids and so on and so forth for the next 250 years. You know, they trying to continue this place, but it's not going to happen because this place is falling. You can see the stupidity from all these leaders. They're looking stupid as hell on the world stage. You got a few of them over there, you know, and you know, that are trying to hold on over there, you know, as far as the Europeans over, as far as UK, little shit, but they looking stupid too. But Trump, he's like really like the clown of the clown show. Real. Okay, but it says government minister Nick Thomas Simons said the change put an end to an archaic and undemocratic principle. See, they want to be a Democrat, or they want to, you know, have those freedoms basically to vote for somebody, and you know that person, you know, he just runs shit and fucks shit up for whatever amount of time, just like here in the Americas. You can see what a democratic system can do to a country, man. You got 4 years of a damn Republican, 4 years of a fucking Democrat, sometimes 8 years of both. And look at how confused the people are. Nothing is getting done. The infrastructure is stupid. Everything falling apart. It take them 20 years to just get together and put together a plan for the simplest of shit. Constantly at war. It's crazy, bro. Overtaxed, overworked. And the people are tired, man. And we're applauding. We're not tired. Hey, the Lord said to be not troubled by these things. When Matthew 24, he said, when you start to see these things happen, hey, don't be troubled. Us, we're not to be troubled by seeing all these atrocities come across and upon these people. And we're not going to be troubled praying Yahweh Bashim Yahushua will place that spirit on us to be callous as hell when people start to get destroyed. Real talk. Our parliament should always be a place where talents are recognized and merit counts. See? No, ain't gonna be none of that. You ain't gonna get the vote for nobody in our kingdom. Ain't gonna be no votes. It's gonna already be set in stone who's king, and that's that. Like, cause you even got that King Charles. It's a lot of rights he don't even have. Right? It says, he said, it should never be a gallery of old boys networks, well, that's exactly what it's gonna be in our kingdom. You're not going to get a chance to be like, oh, well, I don't like them. We're going to vote them. No, you ain't going to get no fucking chance to vote. We're going to fuck your ass up. You're going to stay in your position. You're going to stay a servant like how your ass is supposed to be. This is the servant coming up against their master, pretty much. And it's not going to work. And it's really just, let me get this one, that division, because that's what this is. Matthew 12. Slacky, I'm going to go back and I'm going to come back in here. It's also in a couple of other chapters as well. I think Mark 3 and 23. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's get Mark. Let's see. Yeah, Mark 3 and 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And they literally have a kingdom over there because they got a king. It's far, we know that they some damn frauds, but you get what I'm saying. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. That's it. They're at their end, man. They're at their end. It says, no man can enter into the strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. And the Lord is binding him right now. And he's about to spoil his house, man. This shit is almost over with. Let's get it's that one in Amos 3 and 3. It says, can two walk together unless they be agreed? That's division. That's big time division over there. But it's all good, man. Hey, we applaud it. Again, I'm with it. I seen this shit and I couldn't do nothing but I couldn't even read all the way. I had to send this to the OC immediately. Because we be talking about this. But it says, our parliament should always be a place where talents are recognized and merit counts. He said it should never be a gallery of old boys networks, nor a place where titles, many of which were handed out centuries ago, hold power over the will of the people. See that? They don't want that. This is division. The House of Lords plays an important role in Britain's parliamentary democracy, scrutinizing legislation passed by the elective House of Commons. But critics have long argued that it is unwieldy and undemocratic. See, everybody want to be American. They want that They want they drinking of that wine of Babylon, so to speak. They want this American lifestyle, and not knowing that America, this is the perfect put together for a damn disaster. You can't do nothing but self-destruct in this place. That's it, man. If you don't have Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you're bound to self-destruct in this place, because that's all that it offers. It don't offer anything else. There's no life here. There's nothing truly prosperous here. You might be able to get you a decent job, make some money, get you, the car that you like, live in a neighborhood that you like, little shit like that. But overall, you still eating trash-ass food, you drinking trash-ass water, you breathing trash-ass air, and then you got to deal with trash-ass people that's in charge. These people are peasants, man. Matter of fact, this one comes back to mind. Let's get that Daniel 4 and 17. And that was the one that the Ak had, that's the spirit the Ak had mentioned. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And they don't acknowledge that. And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. So the Lord has been letting some cavemen in suits run his planet for the past 1,000 years or so. And they don't acknowledge the Lord. You got these ones, they go to these big ass cathedrals, because some of these cathedrals is just as fucking old. 1,000-year-old damn building with people believing in white Jesus, man. And then in a lot of those areas, they know that the Lord was a dark melanated man. He would have been a Negro. They know that, but they're not going to present it to the world like that. So these people, they're being torn down, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm not going to keep it much longer. Let's see what else they got in here. The case of Peter Medelson Mandelson, who resigned from the Lords in February after revelations about his friendship with, guess who? With the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, drew renewed attention to the upper chamber and the problem of Lords behaving badly. Oh, well, I mean, hey, they've been doing this kind of shit since they've been people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Esau, he's been a nasty man, from his inception, basically, man. He married those Canaanites, you know what I'm saying? He got into that Egyptian custom shit. They into a lot of nastiness. Time goes on, all them generations of shit being passed down. He's just, the Lord created them to be the wicked, man. These are just wicked people. It says the chamber currently has more than 800 members, making it the second largest legislative chamber in the world after China's National People's Congress. Okay. China be keeping their shit in-house. For most of 700-year history, its membership was composed of noblemen, almost never women. See, they want women in their shit. That's that Babylonian juice. Who inherited seats alongside a smattering of bishops. In the 1950s, these were joined by life peers, retired politicians, civic leaders, and other notable appointed by the government, who now make up the vast majority of the chamber. Roughly 1 in 10 members are currently hereditary peers. Yeah, what they call it, nepotism. In 1999, the Labor government of then Prime Minister Tony Blair evicted most of the 750 hereditary peers, though 92 were allowed to remain temporarily to avoid an aristocrats' rebellion. It was another 25 years before Prime Minister Keir Starmer, this the guy that's talking about you're gonna have to have that digital ID and shit to get a damn job or be able to live over there. I'm not sure how that's gone, but he's that guy, if I'm not mistaken. It says current Labor government introduced legislation to oust the remaining hereditaries. The Lords put up a fight because they living good. Of course they gonna put up a fight. Forcing a compromise that will see an undisclosed number of hereditary members allowed to stay by being recycled into life peers. The bill will become law once King Charles III grant royal assent, a formality, and the hereditary peers will leave at the end of the current session of Parliament this spring, completing a political process begun a quarter century ago in Lord's terms that is speedy. Labor remains committed to eventually replacing the House of Lords with an alternative second chamber that is more representative of the UK. If past experience is anything to go by, change will come slowly. So here we are at the end of a well over 7 centuries of service by hereditary peers in the Parliament. That's a long time, bro. Nicholas True, the opposition Conservative Party leader of the Lords, told the chamber, many thousands of peers served their nation here and thousands of improvements to law were made, he said. It wasn't all a stereotypical history or reaction and are mean. Many of those people, no doubt, were flawed by the most part. They served their nation faithfully and well. Well, you're not truly keeping the scriptures. And, these people try and be religious, you know what I'm saying? They put their hands on the scriptures. Like, look at this big-ass building they sitting in. This is one of them big, stupid-ass buildings that's been around forever. Look at these number Edomites. You think that with this law that they're trying to come up with, that they're going to actually have some so-called black people in here? Hell no. So their change is really just, you know what I'm saying, to be some wicked-ass Edomites. But let me grab this one real quick. I end out Yeharatazah. They're sitting in them old-ass cathedrals. That's Psalms 50, 16. And it reads, but unto the wicked. And that's exactly who these people are. Because the scripture says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. These so-called white people, they running the entire planet. All of them, they got their little leaders, that's running this part of the region. They got this over here in this part of the hemisphere. This part of the hemisphere, they running every damn thing. And everybody else is just oppressed by these people, especially the Israelites. It says, but unto the wicked Psalms 50 and 16 again, Salakia. But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? What are you doing with the scriptures? Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. These people are not righteous people, man. And you got America, they're just a break off. They're a break off from these people. You know, because really that's their mother. This is the daughter over here. These wicked bastards, man. So the mother is now trying to hang out with the daughter. You know how you got it here in the Americas. You got these bitches, you know what I'm saying, that try and priss themselves up and look as young as they fucking daughters. They want to wear the same shit as they do, and they all out at the clubs together, smoking blunts and shit together. And that's not just the so-called black woman. That's the so-called white woman too. You'll see grandma, hell, great grandma, if her ass is still somewhat fit. All of them at the club, drinking the air, trying to fucking twerk. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I'm saying? The UK trying to be like, the mama trying to be like daughter. Yeah, girl, I'm still young. I still got it too. She trying to compete with the young dudes. She out here, they call them cougars, wildcats. Hey, this place is done, man. So all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And again, man, hey, we've been praying for the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. Continue on praying because the Lord is answering our prayers, man. With that, Shalom.